Good morning. This is Pastor Josiah, and I had a couple quick announcements for you guys. The first one is that we had a board meeting on Thursday night, and it was a big deal. We're establishing some policy so that we can proceed with some of our phased plans. What that means is that we basically are figuring out how to officially comply in policy form, but also just in real life practically with all of these guidelines that we have to consider with COVID-19 spread mitigation, I think is the proper way of saying that. So what that means is that we can officially start to establish, create, share the word that we're going to implement phase one fully. And phase one is church at home. I know some of you are saying, wait, but other churches are meeting in person. They're going through all these phases. There's all these things that they're already doing, and I'm aware of that. But for us, we have some unique situations that we're dealing with that are not normal for all churches. So phase one is going to be what we're fully implementing at this moment, and we're also going to implement a phase two, which I would like to tell you a little bit about right now. Phase two is something that is near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've been really struggling with lately. The government, people in general, the society around us has deemed us not essential, I guess is the terminology, that churches are not essential. Churches have not stepped up to the plate, so to speak, to help in all the different times of needs that various individuals have found themselves in, whether that is taking care of sick or right now standing up for the oppressed. With all the protests that are going around, churches have been on the sidelines more, and society at large has deemed them not essential. Because I don't like that, because that personally bothers me, and because I think the church is supposed to bear witness to who Jesus was, and Jesus got in there, got his hands figuratively dirty, and helped love people in very practical terms. There are some things that we're going to do as a church with our facility to help love our community in ways that seems like our community needs some help with, and we as a church can do something about very tangibly. There's going to be more on that this next week. You'll hear some more announcements on what exactly we are doing to address some of the needs we see in our community. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully we'll get one of our staff. We have a new staff member, by the way, Shelby. She is our newest official staff member. So congratulations, Shelby. Her official title is Creative Outreach and New Expressions Director. And Cecilia's slightly changed title because we have a new staff member is going to be Facility and Ministry Director. I think I got those right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. But basically, we're going to also try to communicate more clearly who is doing what, put that on the website, put that in print form, let you know who is doing what, who to go to for this, that, or the other. Everything's crazy right now. There's so much chaos. So we'll do better. We'll do better at that. But stay tuned next week as hopefully Shelby and maybe Maya bring you some announcements. The other announcement that is probably the most important thing that we can do now that we actually have policy in place and we can start to use our facility in some way, shape, or form is that tomorrow from 11 to 12, so 11 a.m. to noon, we are going to do what we're calling communion in cars at the church facility parking lot. So CCC, communion cars, church parking lot. And this is something that we can do now that we have policy in place. However, there are going to be some really strict restrictions for our first time doing some sort of thing together in our parking lot. We're still working on implementing all of the guidelines, all of the policy that we have to worry about. But what we're going to ask you to do is stay in your cars. Don't even get out. Between 11 and noon, you can come. You'll have instructions offered to you through a couple of ways. We'll have it on Facebook, on the website. If you need us to email it to you, we can do that. We have to do it digitally though, so the Bible Companion will have this as well. We can't actually hand you a piece of paper. But basically what we'll ask you to do is show up between 11 or 12. You won't have to stay for the whole time. It's kind of a come when you can, but you'll need to cut out at least 20 minutes probably of your time to do this. There'll be a brief little sermonette instruction video from yours truly. And if you need some of the information for how to get this because you haven't figured it out, when you first pull up, you could just turn on your emergency flashers and one of our staff members will come and help you with that. But basically, you'll be guided through sort of a reflection devotional time. You'll hear me give you some of those instructions. You'll be asked to read the actual scripture that recounts the Last Supper of Jesus with his disciples. You'll be asked to do some reflection. And then when you are actually ready to receive these communion elements, these tangible means of grace, you can turn on your flashers and trust that the proper care and PPE and all the fun not passing virus protocols have been followed. The communion elements will be brought to you by a staff member, and you will be offered the chance to participate in your own timely manner based on when you showed up, when you have gone through all of the self-guided reflection, and when you're ready to receive these elements. And then when you're done, you can wave bye and go home. After that, though, if you want to find more opportunities to meet with other people, then please let us know, because at the end of the sermon companion, there will be an opportunity for more reflection, more discussion, and you can start to meet with other folks if you let us know that that's something you're inclined to do. We know plenty of you might still be in the immune compromised demographics and you're not quite at the point where you're comfortable meeting in mass, and that's something that we're concerned about. We don't want to open up the doors and have some of our folk show up and the rest who are concerned not show up, which is why we're taking a really slow, conservative approach to all of this. Genuinely speaking, though, this is something it's a really tough situation for our specific local church. The Shelton Church of the Nazarene has a unique situation that it is wrestling with, and I'll be blunt, it's me. I am the complication in all of this. If you're unaware, my wife is a nurse, so it stands to reason that on a regular basis, my family probably is exposed to this virus or potentially exposed to this virus just based on statistics and probability more than the most average families are. And part of the policies that we're having to implement that we are following because of just the basic science of preventing against viral spread, it says pretty plainly that if you are possibly exposed to this, if you have been exposed, if you think you might be exposed, you're not supposed to come to the church facility. You're not supposed to come to the places where people are gathering. And that puts us in a kind of weird spot because I'm the pastor. I'm actually not feeling great right now, and because of our close proximity to this pandemic due to my wife's job, we have to take even more precautions as a result. So when you show up tomorrow, you'll see my face in a video if you're able to get it to load, and if Facebook isn't being difficult, and if Facebook is being difficult, we will link to the YouTube channel for you through all the website and everything. But I won't physically be there. And this is just the sad nature of what is our desire to not put other people in an unnecessary risk. As a pastor, one of my biggest concerns in this time is unknowingly giving someone this virus. If I get it, if I have it right now, I will probably be fine, probably because we still don't know a whole lot about this virus. But I am genuinely very concerned about me or my children or my wife giving this to somebody else and what that could do to them. So tomorrow, I would still invite all of you to come, stay in your cars, be safe. We can help you park farther from each other so that you don't have to get too close to anybody. But if you're not leaving your car, that's probably the safest way we could prevent any sort of possible spread. The staff that is there, Cecilia, Shelby, and Maya, they will be wearing masks and gloves, and everything will be very safe, but we will still be able to gather together, even with the help of some unique hybrid digital techniques, so that we can gather in the name of Jesus and participate in this sacred ritual, this gathering together to remember, but also celebrate and receive grace, communion, Eucharist, the Lord's Supper. So tomorrow I would invite you to come. I would invite you to be patient with us as we wade through this really unique situation, especially unique to our church, and trust that we are doing what we feel convicted to do, to be who God has called us to be based on the world's current situations. So I look forward to digitally seeing you tomorrow between 11 and 12 to participate in communion in this unique worship gathering that we're inviting everyone to participate in tomorrow. If you don't feel comfortable even coming in your car, that's okay. You can sit at home and watch some of the shorter sermonette things and participate from afar and still gather with whoever you live with, whoever you're in quarantine, self-isolation with, probably family members, and still engage from afar. But trust that as your pastor, as your church leaders, the board, your staff, we're doing what we feel convicted to do, and we hope that you can appreciate the situation that it is. If you want more information on all of this, please feel free to reach out. We have a website that has contact forms that email directly to us. Maya will get your email, and she'll make sure that if it's something that needs to be addressed by me or one of the other staff members, we will get back to you. If you're interested in being a part of a church at home group, that is going to be headed up by Cecilia. And if you just genuinely need help with more of our social media or getting onto the Bible Companion, that's something that Shelby will be stepping more and more into as well. But if you want to hear more about the policy making and the plan of attack going forward, and you want to hear what the unique challenges are for me personally, you can also let me know, and I will do my best to get back to you when I'm not trying to homeschool children or just be a dad. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate your willingness to sit through this brief little, it's almost 12-minute announcement for tomorrow. The sermon probably won't even be this long, but there was a lot to share. So thanks so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.